Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ellis Paul's Travel and Medicine Show. We got a good one tonight. I'm here in Crozet, Virginia, where I live and broadcast from my recording studio, which is right here surrounding you. Looks so nice in here with all the warm lights are brewing. Let me know where you're from. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our special guest is going to be Mr. Greg Greenway. We're going to get to him in a minute. And in the meantime, we'll play a little music in the background. Let me know where you're from. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're alive. Glad to have you guys here for our Friday night show every Friday night from Crozet, Virginia, broadcasting live. I still need a name for the studio here. Gonna figure that one out. We're gonna start in about 5 minutes. Darlene is here. I believe she's in Kentucky. Good to see you, Dar. Thanks for coming in again. Mr. Phil Punch over there in Massachusetts. Nice to see you. Lowell, Massachusetts, Mr. Jimmy Pollard. Thank you, brother, for coming back out to the show. Nice to have you here. Gail Scott is down there in Miami. Nice to see you, Gail. Thanks for coming in again. Jackie is in Pittsburgh. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please share this on your Facebook pages. Phil Punch has a land of grace. I don't know. We want to get down and dirty in here, too. That might be too biblical. Mr. Chris Nickven over there in Cleveland, Ohio. Nice to see you. Amy Fitzpatrick is here. Glad you guys are tuning in. I'm going to just grab a little bit of water and we'll be right back. We'll start the show around 8 o'clock.
Remember how I made you scream? Now I don't understand what happened to our love. But babe, I'm gonna get you back. Gonna show you what I'm made of. I can see you. Your brown skin shining in the sun. I see you walking really slow, smiling at everyone. And I can tell you, my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone.
Dennis McCracken there from Aberdeen, North Carolina. There's Karen with our PayPal tip jar stuff for me. Amy Fitzpatrick is losing her mind. Amy Hoffman is here as well, up there in Haliburton, Ontario. Cheers, Ian. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for that, Darlene. The more you guys share this post, the more people will see it and more friends will be turned on to the show. We're here every Friday night. Got a good one tonight. You're going to dig, Greg. Good to see you again, Scarlett. Thank you for coming in. Shelly Compers from Dayton, Ohio. I hadn't heard the news. That is sad. I want to look that up. So sad. We'll see if we can find a song maybe to dedicate to him. Happy to have you all here. Please do share it on your Facebook post. We had a kind of a late push on this show, so we're going to have a later audience tonight unless you guys help us out with some sharing. All right. Nice to have you all here. Our special guest is going to be Greg Greenway. we'll do a little bit of a run here on the intro, and I'll see you in about 30 seconds. Cheers, y'all. Hello, my friends. This is Ellis Paul. I'm in Crozet, Virginia. If you're just tuning in to us, this is Ellis Paul's Traveling Medicine Show. Tonight we have a special show with my old friend. We've known each other for decades now, decades with a big S on it. This is Mr. Greg Greenway, who's a wonderful songwriter, originally from Richmond, Virginia. This guy's sort of a one-man rock band in many ways. He knows his way around a song, and he's been in many iterations of duos, trios, and solos. So it's going to be nice to have him visiting here with us tonight. Here's the show. It's Ellis Paul's Traveling Medicine Show. Tonight is Friday, December 10th. And we are here not only on Facebook Live, but we are here on my other Facebook pages and Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon. Our special guest tonight, Greg Greenway. Songs of Change is what we're calling the show tonight, and it's sort of a jump in. You know, we decided that might be a way to sing a million different songs, including this one that I'm about to start the show with. This one is called Rose Tattoo. I got laid off, it's Monday. I'm calling to tell you, it don't sit with me well. I feel like I failed you. You say we got each other, and that's plenty enough. And I know that's true. But we got one kid coming, one still in diapers. It's a rainy drive home with one good wiper. Leave the porch light on. I need a beacon just to pull me to you. If I ever lost you, I'd be lost too, just drifting in a sea of blue. You're in my skin like a rose, like a rose tattoo. Now the economy's crashing, this poor boy's laughing, 'cause there's nothing to lose. We don't live in no mansion, there's no bling to put on, only Walmart fashion will do. Inside the house, the baby's screaming, the pasta's steaming, and I look through the windows, feels like I'm dreaming. You pull the door open, say, Daddy, when you coming home? If I ever lost you, I'd be lost too, just drifting in a sea of blue. You're in my skin like a rose, like a rose tattoo. And you say we'll fight for the best case scenario, and then you put Van Morrison on the stereo. Well, sure, there's trouble in the boardrooms, trouble in the factories, trouble in the alleys out back. We gotta love these patterns. Love is what matters. And baby, I got your back. I've got your back. I've got your back. Hey, I've got your back. If I ever lost you, I'd be lost too, just drifting in a sea of blue. You're in my skin like a rose, like a rose tattoo, like a rose tattoo, like a rose, like a rose, like a rose. Oh, thank you for that, Carol Sharshik. She says the rose tattoo has such wonderful rhymes. That's what we're chasing after. Miss Gail Scott, thank you so much for the love in the tip jar tonight. If you're just joining us, thank you for coming in. I want to let you know that we have a special guest tonight, Mr. Greg Greenway. He'll be coming on at the top, the half of the hour, 8:30. He'll be coming on. He was born actually in Richmond, Virginia, right where our friends over at the VCU, ICU are hanging out. My favorite acronym over there with Diane Welch and all the nurses there. At the VCU, ICU. God, I love saying that. You guys probably do too, right? Glad to have you guys here tonight. Again, Mr. Greg Greenway. Just to let you know some things that are coming up. Hey, check this out. We got a holiday show. Let me get Diane's comment off of there. There we go. We got a holiday show coming up on December, there it is, December 19th, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be Laurie McHester from the band Red Molly and my partner who's listening upstairs, Mr. Tom Rush. On to Duvacot, Mr. Adam Ezra, Shanna in a Dress. Folks from all over the country tuning in. Some of my best friends on the music scene will be there celebrating, singing holiday songs. And it should be a lot of fun. So come dressed up with your favorite eggnog beverage, alcoholic beverage, or not. You can just sniff cinnamon if you're bored. Also want to let you know next week's show is going to feature Mr. Radislav Lorkovich. There he is. Radislav is joining me in Boston, by the way, for 4 shows at Club Passim over the New Year's holiday on the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. 4 shows over 3 days. And also January 1st at One Longfellow Square in Portland, Maine. He's going to also be joining us with Don Conoscenti on guitar. So should be a lot of fun. If you haven't got tickets and you live in the Boston area, please come. Make sure you get your booster shots. And we're still fighting the old virus, are we not? We are. Tonight's theme is Songs of Change. And I've got quite a few of those in my repertoire. The way things are going, it's so frustrating to see what the Supreme Court is doing and what's happening in elections and things like that. So we're going to sing a song called Election Day here, y'all. This is on the Storyteller's Suitcase. I can feel a new day coming. Change is on the way. I can feel the wheels of progress humming. I'm just waiting on election day. Now you have tried to keep me quiet. I've got things to say. I got a voice and it won't be silent. You're gonna hear it come election day. Well, I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking proud, talking loud on election day. While you've been working in the shadows, getting rich so quietly, making deals with all your friends. You forgot that you work for me. So just save that campaign promise. You never kept them anyway. You just talk the talk, you don't walk the walk. We're gonna fix it on election day. Well, I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking tall, talking proud on election day. Oh, you've been taking money from the oil man, money from the NRA. You've been taking money from the billionaires just to look the other way. Well, now the party's over. It's time to polish up that resume. Maybe spend more time with your family, starting on election day. Well, I'll be here on election day. You won't keep me away. I'll be walking proud, talking loud on election day. On election day. On election day. That was Election Day, a song from the Storyteller's Suitcase. That one is a cover song written by a guy named Michael Brown. It hits the melody of a what is the name of that song? It'll Come to Me. But it's a traditional melody, but the words by Michael K. Brown. So many songs I could sing that have to deal with change, but this is one of my favorites. We're gonna get this thing in tune for you. Been working a lot on new material for the new album. Don't know if I'm going to play anything new tonight. Maybe. Well, why not? I'm going to do this. I'm going to play 55. It's not really I guess it's a song of change. It's a song about change, really. It's about how all those things that have changed since we were kids, those of us who are in our 50s or 60s. It's called 55. I've owned 8-track tapes and DVDs, vinyl records still in the sleeves, mixed cassettes I once believed could keep a girlfriend crying. Polaroids were just a trend, rotary phones won't spin round again, highway maps all came to an end. nobody saw them folding. I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. On the dusty highway I rolled my car, walked away without a scar. I spent countless nights in smoky bars, dying to find a little trouble. Whiskey sour, whiskey neat, one too many and you're obsolete. Are you living the dream on a lucky streak till you're trapped like a ship in a bottle? And I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. Rand McNally and the fax machine, the milkman bringing home butter and cream, Sears and Roebuck magazines, look what I out-survived. I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. I can't remember where I got the call. Might have been St. Louis, might have been St. Paul. They're canceling every show through fall. Turn the bus round, boys, it's over. This virus don't care if you got mouths to feed or about songs you sing when the whole world's bleeding. But you get to stay and John Prine's leaving. Who's in charge of the order? I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. Rand McNally and the fax machine, the milkman bringing home butter and cream, Sears and Roebuck magazines, none of that survived. I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. You fall in love, you fall in lust, you fall to pieces, you fall to dust. Only thing I've come to trust is the sun will rise come morning. Fell in love, had a child. Making babies never goes out of style. She can kill me with just her smile. She can break me just by crying. Rand McNally and a fax machine, milkman bringing home butter and cream, Sears and Roebuck magazines, none of that survived. I'm 55, trying to figure out how I'm still alive. Oh, I'm 55, God only knows why I'm still alive. All right, y'all, that was 55, a song from the up-and-coming album, probably called 55, I think. Karen was good enough to remember what that traditional song was that Election Day is built on, that Michael K. Brown wrote the lyrics to. It's St. James Infirmary, traditional blues song, she says, Louis Armstrong. And others recorded versions of it. It's a great melody. It's like timeless. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Oh, the answer is blowing in the wind. Isn't how many years can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Story goes that Bob Dylan wrote this in about 15 minutes when he was 19. I tend to believe it. Just feels like it just came out of the sky, doesn't it? Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Oh, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Oh, that's one you've heard before. Blowin' in the Wind by Mr. Bob Dylan. Hey, I got a song here I want to play for you. Another one that I wrote. Battle of Charlottesville, it's called. It's about the white supremacist march that happened here a few years back. And caught word today, actually, that the statue of Robert E. Lee is gone. Now, of course. And they're going to melt it down and make art out of it. Which I was all for it being in a museum or being, you know, on some battlefield somewhere. But I like the fact that they're doing that with it. They're just going to melt the mother down. This is called the Battle of Charlottesville. Let's get that into it. We'll see. General Robert E. Lee is sitting on a stallion right in front of me. The town says they're gonna take the old statue down. So white supremacists come snaking through the streets like something out of Genesis. I can't believe my eyes, 'cause neither side is gonna back down. When the war you're fighting for is born out of something disgraceful, you ain't fighting honorably, generally. Friday night out on There's citronella tiki torch as the townspeople left their porches to block their way. And you can hear the hate in the words they shout. The cameras caught the faces for the torch blew out. You should have worn your hood, you're up to no good. Tomorrow's judgment day. When the war you're fighting for is born out of something disgraceful, you ain't fighting honorably, generally. Saturday the protests got canceled and a helicopter crashed. It got too hot to handle. 2 cops died and skirmishes broke round town. Lives blown out like candles. A president who loves a scandal. He wouldn't take a side, though people died and had their hire got mowed down. When the war you're fighting for is born out of something disgraceful, you ain't fighting honorably, generally. For 150 years we've come so far, but you haven't moved an inch. We will not flinch. There's no one here to lynch. When the war you're fighting for is born out of something disgraceful, you ain't fighting honorably, generally. Generally. All right, y'all, that was the Battle of Charlottesville, also on the album, The Storyteller's Suitcase. I'm very happy to have our special guest here tonight. I've known Greg since I started. He might have been a few years earlier than my start in the early 90s in Boston, but his voice was always so resonant, so warm, so believable. And then he had a way of incorporating, it was folk rock with no separation between the two. He brought the A game of folk music with the A game of rock music, and I learned a lot by watching him perform. He has the loudest feet in the business as well, and I'm happy to have him here tonight with us. This is Mr. Greg Greenway. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm great, Ellis. Great to hear you, man, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I was thrilled. We sort of by chance connected this week, and just when I needed, it was Kismet's way of just bringing you into my week, and so I'm so glad that you said yes. I want to thank a couple people before we get started here. Daniel Dunn in the tip jar, and Vincent, thank you so much for the love tonight. This is, again, how we make our living, folks. Greg, where are you right now? Tell me, what's your story there where you are?
I'm in Ashland, Virginia. So in my great, I was born in Richmond, and in all of my journeys, I've landed about 15 miles north of where I started. So as long as it's north, I'm fine. But Ashland, it's right on I-95. It's for all you people who are out in the general world, it's about 90 miles south of Washington, D.C., right on 95.
It's a beautiful little train stop town with antebellum-looking mansions around, and just beautiful, beautiful little town. And Ashland Coffee and Tea, a place I used to play all the time. Is that still there? I know they've gone through some ownership swaps.
Yeah, they tried to resurrect it, and now it's a yarn shop. I mean, I guess it sort of was before. But it was,
yeah. I've spun many a yarn in that place.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here. I want everybody to hear you sing, so I'll step out and we'll see you in a couple songs. This is Greg Greenway, y'all.
All right, thanks, Ellis. Great to hear you, man. As you lie sleeping, I will not stop. Headlights on the blacktop in the wee hours of my thing, driving. When we first met, oh, how I must have seemed a young man in a boy's dream. No information, just desire. Desperate urge to put something beautiful in this world. And there are moments in a night's success when something rises from the emptiness and stirs the brave hope of a young desire. Have shown me the equal and opposite force. I found girls who want to save lost boys. They know that longest road is never done alone. To give them away back home. It's a lonely romance. It's a desperate urge to put something beautiful in this world. As you lie sleeping through the misting rain, high beams in the fast lane, in the wee hours of our thing, driving in the wee hours of our thing, driving. That's a song called Highway 4 AM. And Ellis, I am sure you have been in that same spot. I was driving on Interstate 495 at 4 in the morning trying to get home. And it's such a common story with what we do. So I want to play you, I'm just getting ready to release an album. You were totally correct that I did predate you. What happened is I came to Boston, and then the Reagan administration happened, and all things folk kind of just dried up. Things just changed. All the venues that were there, they closed, and things kind of stopped. And then fortunately, there was a rebirth in the 90s, and folks like you came. And I was saying before that when you went to an open mic at the Old Vienna, which is how I re-entered the folk world, you could have any number of people whose names are well known. Vance Gilbert, I think Martin Sexton was there. There are all kinds of people who then became kind of fixtures in the folk music world. It's just an amazing time. So I'm about to release a record of songs that predate that. The very first songs that I wrote in coming to Boston and tried to be a songwriter. And I'm very excited about the CD. I'm just about to release it. I'm probably going to release it in January, but I'm listening to the final mixes now. And this is a song on it that I had a fantastic cellist named Michael Ronstadt play on. And I wish he were here now. But this is one of the first songs I wrote when I moved to Boston, and it has stayed with me for all this time. It's called Icarus. And the sun came up down an old dirt road, saying hello, new day, hello. It's shown on my back like a father's hand, saying, my son, how you have grown. Sun goes up, moon goes down, and you knew from the start the measure of all things is still the heart. And the bomb lay down in a rain-wet street, saying, I don't care, I don't care. I'm far too deep in this cold, dark well of things that keep me here. Sun goes up, moon goes down, and you knew from the start the measure of all things is still heart. And on wings of wax he flew too high till he fell into the sea, and the ship sailed on, and the farmer plowed, and the day passed gracefully. Sun goes up, moon goes down, and you knew from the start the measure of all things is still the heart. Sun goes up, moon goes down, and you knew from the start the measure of all things is still the heart.
Oh, you're sounding great, man. Really beautiful.
Thank you.
So you never recorded those back in the 80s?
This one has stuck around, but there are songs literally on this record that in 1978, when I first auditioned for the Nameless Coffee House in Harvard Square, I literally played these songs. And I'm starting the record with a song called Let It Roll that was the first song I played in that audition. So
Amazing.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like, well, you know how these are. These songs are time capsules for us. They contain not just what's in the song, but everything that was around the song. So, we as the writers of that have every line we didn't include in the song still in our head. And so it's remarkable how those songs, if you do it right, they just take you back into that time and that place. When I just knew nothing, standing there shaking in my boots, I came to Boston, if I suck, I'm gone.
Certainly you brought up the old Vienna Coffee House, and that was sort of the gold standard of open mics in the country.
Yeah, it was.
Back then. And Dar Williams and Martin Sexton, as you said, Patty Griffin, Katie Curtis, you, Vance Gilbert, Daryl Scott occasionally, folks that were, unknown in Boston who are now marquee players on the American folk circuit, and born in that club. And, it was tough. It was tough having to follow people like you.
Well, right back at it.
Yeah, but that's what made us all better, I think. And I keep on telling people, and if any of you out there are, want to be songwriters and want to be more public with your music, the best thing you can do for it is get it in a community of supportive people and slightly competitive people, because that's going to make you rise to the top as well. And everybody had their due, though. It's like there was seemed to be enough gigs to go around. Like everybody was working and becoming full-time musicians, and incredible.
Yeah, and there was, radio support. WBOS actually started playing folk music, and there was sort of the great threat of a revival, But record companies got interested, things happened like, Luca, Suzanne Vega's Luca, and Fast Car happened, and those things popped through on the top 40 list, and suddenly, labels popped up that gave people, like High Street Records, gave several artists chance to be national people. Yeah. And so it was really an interesting time because, well, the one thing that's great about Boston is a school of musicians, but it's not an industry city. So you get all these musicians in there cooking, but you got to go to New York, Nashville, or LA to graduate into the business. And it's vastly different because, I've made the false assumption that everywhere was like Boston, and that's just not the truth.
Yeah, no. Don't we wish it would have been? Yeah, there were times we were getting as much airplay as pop acts in town, Yeah. WUMB, WERS playing you on the same day, minutes apart to 600,000 people. Yeah. Those were incredible days. And but you've done a lot since then. Obviously, you were in somewhat of a folk supergroup with the brother Son. When did all of you folks meet? It's Joe Jenks and Pat Wichter and you.
Yeah, we met at a conference in Virginia, strangely enough, and we were in this thing, and we were suite mates. It's a college, so it was suite, and Joe and Pat were in the one suite side of the suite, and I was in with a different guy on the. And Pat he had an hour show that night, and he said, "Hey, do you guys want to sing with me?" And we were like, "Yeah," And back then, I was the lead singer. I never sang harmony for anybody, so I was terrible at it. So I just had to memorize it. But that night, we sang a couple of songs that became just incredible staples. We sang "Love Is the Water," and that song graduated and changed a million times in the 8 years we were together. But we sang it that first night, and I've talked to people who were there at that conference who just said the second we started singing, it was brother son.
Yeah, you guys had this really strange shine to you. It was powerful to watch, and you made rooms vibrate wherever you went, which was just pretty amazing. The blending of the voices and the material being so great. It was a lot of fun to watch you. And most recently, you're doing this sort of almost theatrical production with Reggie Harris, and talk about that a little bit, because you guys are a bit of an odd couple in a way.
Yeah, Reggie and I have been friends for over 30 years, 35 or something.
He's watching you and giving you shit.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Well, happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Happy
Reggie's
birthday, Reggie.
I already
Nice.
played him the real happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. That's the real happy birthday song. But yeah,
Nice.
Reggie and I have been friends for a long, long time. And we started talking in the back room at the Village Gate during a Phil Oak song night, and we haven't stopped talking since. So to get this into a nutshell, me born in Richmond, Virginia, raised in the shadow of those statues, and found out that Reggie's ancestry dates to a plantation literally, I think, 5 miles from where I'm sitting. So
Wow.
we didn't realize that we had this common history, that we came through the same portal of the James River. And so we thought, and this was in 2014, before the election, really started bringing the people to Charlottesville that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But we felt like we needed to tell the story because America just was not finding its way into a conversation on race. And so Reggie and I have just had that conversation for a long, long time. And so we put this together where we tell our stories. We do not present ourselves as any kind of experts, because the only thing we're expert on is what happened to us.
Yeah.
And we were born in just kind of the right time for all kinds of strange things to happen. We were in the beginning of the desegregation of public schools in Philadelphia and in Richmond. So it was the first time blacks and whites were together. I was a basketball player. First time that the blacks and whites played on the same team and played against white teams, played the all black teams. So things were happening. Things were happening, and you can see the repercussions are still going on. So Reggie and I did Deeper Than the Skin because we want to tell our stories and encourage people to think back to their stories. And this is the way we think that we can move people more towards empathy, and understanding. So this is amazing.
It's so powerful that you guys are doing this, and I'd love to have Reggie on the show at some point. So Reggie, if you're listening, we'll find each other down the road, and certainly both of you. Next time you guys are full on back on the road, let me know, and we'll bring you both on at the same time to celebrate whatever projects you got going. I'll let you do a couple more songs here and come back. All right, everybody. This is Mr. Greg Greenway.
I'm going to play a song that that we do in Deeper Than the Skin. This is a song for Rosa Parks that I wrote on New Year's Day after she died that year, and the New York Times had the photograph of her talking about the significant people who died. And I grew up in a place where no one wanted to see Rosa Parks. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. How many tumblers fell into place? How many somedays just had to wait? How many lifetimes waited away till the moment came down to big, strong, and threatening, it might not be the case. Like thousands before you, blurred and erased, but you were small and defenseless, the face of grace. The moment came down to you. I can't take no more, I won't take no more. I can't take no more, I won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. This happened was 55. I'd been born in Virginia, barely arrived in the bundle my fathers handed me. To their surprise were the ears to hear you. I can't take no more, won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. Goodbye. Day it came down to you. Rosa Parks. I'm going to move to the piano to play you a song. And I'm going to change a couple of things here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Hello, hello. I've fallen in love with this instrument, the piano. And one day I'll have it in my body like I have my guitar. And this is a song called If You Paint Me. And it's about the idea that when you die, somebody's going to tell everybody who you were. And I do not want to leave that in the hands of my most immediate relatives. So I decided to tell you who I am. If you paint me blue, cerulean September sky, there must be a yellow sun and something far and passing by. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss, my brother's pain, a dove, a fist, and more, and more. Above the sparkle of the sea, render me that distant thing, over hues of blues and greens, a glint of gold on fleeting wings. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss. My sister's struggle to persist, and more, and more than the hand that holds the broad brush strokes of destiny, more than you can fill in the rest of me. Frame me with translucent time, a moment like no other. Paint how you will this life of mine, a melody in colors. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss. My brother's pain, a dove, a fist. My sister's struggle to persist, and more, and more. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss. My father's gift, resist, resist, and more, and more.
Beautiful. You're playing great.
Thanks, man. It's a 10,000 hour thing. You just have to do it until you absorb it.
Yeah, right. It takes a long time to become a master, like you said. I like how you said when it becomes part of your body.
Yeah.
That when you can get to that point with the guitar where it's not like you aren't leaving room for improvement, but you just kind of know the corners of it, and you know the geography of the guitar and how to go there with muscle memory rather than with your head. And
yeah, exactly.
I pray for that day on piano as well. Yeah. Do you think music can still make a difference? Because getting on the radio in any way is really hard these days, unless you're part of the commercial thing with Clear Channel and commercial versions of indie songwriters. You know, it only exists in a really small quadrant of the universe. But do you still think that we're having impact when we're writing songs about change? What are your feelings on that?
Yeah. I was alive when the Beatles went on Ed Sullivan, and everybody in the entire world saw the Beatles in one fell swoop, and now that is impossible. That just can never happen again because there's no one place that you can put anybody. Now you can't even be the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. Still doesn't have the same impact that had.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with a totally different world. It's much more segmented, but this is something that I've always felt about. This is a decision I made early on, and that was this. You can either write what you think you should be writing for the industry, or you can write for you, and be true to yourself. And that way, you will always be valuable to those people who follow you, who love what you do. And so I haven't been, someone who's chased that. I've really just felt like, I'm not your you can't play my songs on the radio, and people go, yes, I must have it immediately. And then, no, it's not like that. I was an English lit major, It's like it takes a little work, and that's the thing I always loved about it, is that the best writers to me made me work a little bit, and they changed me, So I feel like, in my small corner of the world, I think that is very true. That yes, we change people, and I know that what Reggie and I are changing people. I mean, I see it when we do Deeper Than the Skin. I just watch their faces. And they come up and talk to us because people are so ready for this conversation. So however small you may think, it is, what your influence is, it's still making a ripple. And I just think that people are really looking for something authentic. This world is so manufactured.
Yeah, and so contentious right now. And I think sometimes because we travel in fairly liberal circles anyway, so it's
Sure.
there's some preaching to the choir, of course, but yeah. I do think there's sort of like a Grinch element, if you will, that we're not like changing people from the Grinch to the big heart, but maybe the people with hearts already will open that much wider, and maybe become that much more invested in creating some change for themselves and for their families and communities. And that's it's our job to write about what we see, what we feel, and the time that we're in. And I can think of nobody that does that better than you. So thank you so much for being on the show, Greg. It's an honor to have you here, and nice to see your face and to still hear that voice just so crystal clear. Really beautiful.
Thank you, and right back at you, Ellis. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon, Greg. I'll circle back to say good night with an email here in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, all right.
Cheers,
thanks.
brother. That's Greg Greenway, everybody. Isn't he great? Just, I remember coming into the Boston scene, and Greg had a little bit of mileage on him by the time we met, and so it was someone to look up to, someone who knew his way around a song and how to work a stage, and lovely to have him back on the show here. And well, not back, he never has been on the show, but to have him on the show. He's doing great work with Reggie Harris. Get a chance to see those guys. Into the Skin, I think, is the name of what they are doing. It's almost like a conversation on stage, almost like a theatrical conversation, talking about their histories and their friendship, and how we can overcome these things. And maybe, who knows, if it takes off for them, maybe Vance Gilbert and I will go on the show with a touring company of the same show. If you're just joining us, this is the Friday night show. Every Friday night, I do the Traveling Medicine Show, unless I'm on the road somewhere. But for the rest of the month, in January, you'll be seeing me on most Fridays. Really happy to have you folks listening, and thank you for all the support. We've got a few folks I want to thank for the tip jar contributions. Robin, our dear friend, who loves us both. Deeper Than the Skin. Thank you for that, Robin. Thank you. Mark and Karen, thank you for the support and love. Celine and Ingrid as well. Thank you for all the contributions. And thank you for taking care of Greg and Greg's tip jar as well. And we'll keep on going here. Let's do another song. Oh, here we go. Diana's got a note here. Deeper Than the Skin. DeeperThanTheSkin.com. That's where you go find out a little bit more about the project that Greg is doing with Reggie Harris. So I want to do this song. It's called $20 Bill. Kind of an extraordinary song written by Tom Prasada-Rao. I put it on the Patreon album, The Traveling Medicine Show. It's been a while. Some people die for honor. Some people die for love. Some people die while singing to the heavens above. Some people die believing in the cross on Calvary Hill. Some people die in a blink of an eye for a $20 bill. Some people go out in glory, yeah, with the wind at their back. Some get to tell their own story, write their own epitaph. Sometimes you see it coming, sometimes you don't know until you run out of breath with a knee on your neck for a $20 bill. Oh, brother, I never knew you. Now I never will. But I'll make this promise to you. I'll remember you still. Take, eat, let this be our communion. Oh, it's time to break the bread. Do this in remembrance, just like the good book said. Sometimes the wine is a sacrament. Sometimes the blood is just spilled. Sometimes the law is the devil's last straw. The future unfulfilled for a $20 bill. A $20 bill. That is a song by Tom Prasada-Rao called $20 Bill, a song for George Floyd. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure playing for you. Next week, don't forget, we've got our dear old friend, Mr. Radislav Lorkovich, a guy who's traveled with me many, many years, done many shows together on accordion and keys. He'll be playing from his home in Chicago next Friday. And then don't forget, again, December 19th, it's the big holiday show. We've got people beaming in from all over the U.S. Shannon in a dress there on the far right. She's going to be coming in from Nashville. Adam Ezra, who I think will be up in Maine when he broadcasts with us, Anja Duvcott, Massachusetts, as well as Tom Rush in Rockport. Laurie McAllister will be right here with me, and I will be with her as well. And we hope you'll join us for a lot of holiday songs, a lot of merriment. Who knows? Maybe I'll be dressed as Santa Claus. We'll figure it out. Sometimes the guitars don't want to be in tune. Wonder where you are tonight. Wonder if you're driving on a winding concrete river in a raft of glass and steel. The darkness interrupted by lonely bright oasis, a full tank and a coffee, and you're back behind the wheel. Long is the road that lies between us. Many are the days since you've been gone. May the angel on your shoulder guide you safely through the night. May the concrete river bring you home. May the concrete river bring you home. I wonder where you are tonight. I wonder if you're happy. I'll say my little prayer and send it out across the miles. I hope you're in a special place with people there that love you. I hope you make it back to them before too long a while. Long is the road that lies between us, and many are the days since you've been gone. May the angel on your shoulder guide you safely through the night. May the concrete river bring you home. May the concrete river bring you home. Lovely to sit with you folks for a while. I'm going to sit here again with another song to say goodnight with. Let's do California, why not? Here's a song called California. It's nice to visit with Greg Greenway, an old friend from the Boston area. Good night, Scarlett. Good night, Eric. Thank you as well.
You get the best of everything. The best of everything.
Thank you, Gail.
Marilyn Monroe and the Hollywood sign.
Whoops, we didn't want to do that, did we? Let's get that back on.
The Pacific Ocean, finest wine.
Good night, Celine. Thank you. Karen, thank you as well. Lovely to sit with you guys on a Friday night.
To be from Arkansas.
If I don't see you, have a happy holiday.
California, California, California. You get the best of everything. The best of everything. Avocados and the redwood trees. The Big Sur Highway, Yosemite. The Beach Boys singing in harmony.
Thank you, Muse.
You make it hard to be from Idaho.
Sad to hear about Michael Naismith of the Monkees today.
Nothing against New Mexico, New York, Georgia, or Ohio. There's just a place I long to go.
Sorry I didn't do a Monkees song. didn't hear the news, so I didn't work anything up. I don't know if you guys can hear the train in the background. Can you hear that little roar in the background?
California,
It's nice to have that hum come through every few hours.
can get the best of everything, the best of everything.
I can see it from here.
Joshua Tree and the grizzly bear, Disneyland and Fred Astaire, surfer girl with her golden hair. You make it hard to be from anywhere.
That's my stomach. I'm gonna go have dinner. No, that was the train.
To be from anywhere.
Lovely to hang out with you folks. We will see you next week, Wednesday. I'll be doing a show, the Wednesday weigh-in, Friday night with Radislav Lorkovich. And then the Sunday holiday show. 3 shows next week. We'll see you then. Cheers.